Hey all, this month for me is early Halloween. I'm so excited about Madison VR, and even Overdark is supposed to be coming out this month, although they just delayed it on PSVR2 yesterday. I think it was supposed to come out the 14th anyways, but we don't have a release date anymore on Overdark. So hopefully it comes out this month, but with Madison VR coming out this month, and hopefully Overdark, I wanted to reflect on some of the horror games that I played over the past year and just point out some of my favorites. Let's keep it short to 4 or 5, but I don't know, I thought it'd be a fun video just to talk about what I did and didn't like about the horror games of 2023 and looking forward to the good ones in 2024. Let's get into it. I had to start off with this one. Propagation Paradise Hotel was one of the biggest surprise games for me in 2023, just in general, let alone horror games. This game was a delight to play. It was on my radar. I was kind of interested in it, but it really impressed me. This game was done by Wanted Dev Studios. They had originally done a Propagation Hotel for VR, PCVR, and I think it was on Quest, and it was just a short little experience, and this was a sequel to that. I really liked this game. It's more of a psychological horror. There's a lot of jump scares, a lot of that tense, what's around the corner, what's behind me feeling. A really interactive game, and just all the sounds, everything you could manipulate, the aesthetic, the general art that it went into it. It was just a beautiful and immersive game. You start off as Emily Diaz, and the gist of it is you're looking for your twin sister. You've been trapped for a while with the security guard, and you got to make your way out through a horde of, you don't know what it is, some kind of zombie apocalypse, and it's just a really done game. It's definitely done, a really well done game. The physics, you can smash and break things. There's a lot of things you can interact with. All in all, though, it really is just a great psychological terror game. The gore, the jump scares, they're all really used in that proper way to bring everything together that just makes a horror game what it's supposed to be. Just gives you that, I don't want to walk down this hallway. I don't want to unbolt this bolt. I don't want to open this door type of feel. And that's, for me, all you can really ask for in a good horror game is to be terrified. I mean, that's what we are looking for. It sounds weird to say it aloud, though. I'm not going to lie. And it was terrifying. This was a great psychological horror game. I cannot speak enough good about it. I was enamored with this game. It may be one of my favorite games that came out, even over the Resident Evil games, because it was just such a pleasant surprise. I mean, it's not better than the Resident Evil games, don't get me wrong, but it's a must-try if you like horror games. This was a delight to play. I will always sing this game's praises. I really, really hope they come to the sequel, because it really leaves you on a cliffhanger. We'll just put it that way. I don't want to give anything away. An excellent game, though. And then, of course, we had the Resident Evils. I'm not going to differentiate too much between Village and Resident Evil 4 VR Remake. Did I say that right? Resident Evil 4 Remake VR? Yeah, I'm not going to differentiate too much between them, as they were both delightful games. I will say Resident Evil 4 Remake definitely was crisper, a little cleaner, had just slightly better play to it than Village. Village was a little clunkier, maybe, not quite as crisp and clean, but that doesn't take anything away from it. They were both amazing games. The knife work in Resident Evil 4 was just brilliant. Both games were, I couldn't compare the games. I wouldn't pick one over the other. They were two of the best. I would pick Resident Evil 4 over Village if I had to, but they were two of the best games that came out, just period, over the year, especially if we're talking about horror. I mean, these games just really showed off what VR can do in general, let alone the horror genre. And if you're a Resident Evil fan, I mean, of course you already know that they do horror. That's what they do. And they do it well. So, no complaints on either of those games. I'm not going to try and score one above the other, as they were two completely separate experiences. Both extremely enjoyable, both creepy and horrifying, both true Resident Evil experiences. So I recommend looking at them both. If you have to pick one, I guess go with RE4 Remake in VR, but The Village is amazing as well. So both of those are top hitters. This next one I definitely wasn't so sure about. Switchback, I wasn't going to play it. I had no real interest in it, but eventually I got kind of bored. And with boredom comes experimentation. Enter the Dark Pictures Switchback VR. I mean, it's basically a haunted house roller coaster. They do a great job with all in all playability. The game feels good. It's actually fun. I had no interest in playing this game. It wasn't. I mean, I saw it. I knew it was there. I only recently played this game, and I was really surprised. I mean, a lot of it's ridiculous, just kind of haunted house stuff, but there's some genuine good jump scares in there. There's some fun, all-in-all playability. I liked this title more than I expected to, so I figured it's worth mentioning to anyone who may not have checked it out. What did you think? Is this something you liked and weren't expecting to, or did you know you liked this game from the beginning? It surprised me, but I liked it. It's a good, just jump scare game, all in all. And here we are at another one of my favorite VR titles. Really, it's a series. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners series has enamored me since PSVR. So somewhere around 2021, 2022, I've been messing around with Saints and Sinners, the original, and when Retribution came out, I was on it. Now, these games only got better on PSVR2. For me, this game really just nails it on the feel. It's one of the best feeling games, all in all, VR, including whatever top game you want to bring to the table. The katana feels so realistic. The weight of the blades, the throwing mechanics, just the physics in general are so realistic, it's ridiculous. I fell in love with this game for that reason. The weapons just really feel like they should. I don't know how else to say it. You feel like you have a revolver in your hand. You feel like you have a pistol in your hand. You feel like you have a sword in your hand versus a knife. I mean, these are real details that you can tell the difference. It's just an amazingly well done game. I've been surprised with it since the beginning, and it only got better when it came out on PSVR 2. The other thing I love about this game is the revisitability. I mean, you can come back to this game time and time again. I think I'm on day 100 and something now of The Walking Dead, and on Retribution. I'm gonna start over and play it again eventually, but I'm in no hurry to do so. I will often go spend 30 minutes to 2 hours decapitating zombies and wandering around through New Orleans looking at stuff. It's one of the few games that I've played. This and No Man's Sky, I put the most hours into in VR by far, and I think there's a reason for that. This game is just an overall good game. Looks, feel, it's really the whole package, and it's got the scare tactics to it as well. But once you get over the scary part, once you get used to kind of desensitized to the zombies, this game really opens up and you can have a lot of fun with it too. So even if you're not a fan of the genre, this game is definitely worth checking out. It's just a well-balanced VR game in general. So with all that, those are my top 6 PSVR 2 horror games right now. I really love them. I'm looking forward to Madison VR coming out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate everyone who came through.
Can anyone hear me?
Please like and subscribe. Take it easy, guys. And gals. And everyone.
Ashley? Is that you?
Emily.